very primitive, but it was a huge tower on 4 places around a pool that took the water from the spring, and it was all inside the walls. And David came along with his men, and he saw the water flowing, as you saw, and he said, this must come from inside. Anybody can find the way inside will be, I'll make you governor. And Joab went in a tunnel where the water was flowing. It was a huge tunnel, and at some point, somewhere or other, he must have climbed up in what the Bible calls the gutter in most translations. Comes inside, finds himself inside the city walls, and you know, he takes his sword out of his teeth. He's got up, like that, and swashbuckling and all that stuff. Managed to get to the gate, opens the gate, and the army comes in, and they conquer the city. Okay. That was a whole water system built by the Jebusites. When Solomon came to be king here, the city was growing and he needed food. So, because the valley itself is the best ground, he built a tunnel coming from the spring, the length of what this sausage, which we call the city of David today, with openings from that, with furrows that went out into the valley and cultivated the whole of the valley. Down to here, and there were beautiful gardens here, which were called, formerly here where we are, the Gardens of the King. The King's Garden, mentioned in the Bible. However, 200 years later, Hezekiah, who is now the king, hears that the Assyrians are marching from the north. And he realizes that if they come here, they'll do what David thought he could do. They'll simply stop the water supply and people won't have to have any water. So he very quickly started digging a tunnel from the spring to take it inside the walls, and he did like I told you the Chinese would have done. He dug from both ends with as many men as possible, and they met in the middle. And how do we know that? Is because in the middle they found 100 and something years ago a plaque, and on the plaque it said, we can hear the pickaxes of the team on the other side, and in a few minutes we will have completed this, the effort. And that plaque today, stone, it's carved in stone, is today in Istanbul. The Turks who found it, they took it to Istanbul. Go get it back. They don't want to give it back. Okay, so that is known as Hezekiah's tunnel. So there are three systems, three water systems: Jebusites, Solomon's, and Hezekiah. Hezekiah's took the water inside the walls to a pool of sending, to be sent, which is the Hebrew word Shiloh, which is what we use in English as Siloam. And it was sent to this pool. Up until recently, there was a pool. You see the pipeline here? It's taking the water through today, so as we can stand here and it's dry. But the water used to bring it into this pool, and this is not more than 4 or 5 years old. I mean, the discovery. And you can see how large it is. It's all of this area here. A huge pool where people would come to bathe, and plenty of water supply and everything else.
3 years ago, though, they had the lower part filled with water, so you can see. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the problem is now that, well, what they've done is they've put the water in it.
Is there another name for the pool of Siloam?
Not in English, it's known as Siloam. And this is where you had it ready. This is where Jesus cured a blind man.
Yes.
With spittle and dirt. Not to be confused with Bethesda. Not to be confused with Bethesda. This is where Jesus cured a blind man. Not the story of picking up the mat and walking. That's what we'll talk about.
I can go ahead and read that now. It's John chapter 9, verse 1. As they went along, he saw a man blind from birth. His disciples asked him, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Neither this man nor his parents sinned, said Jesus, but this happened so that the work of God might be displayed in his life. As long as it is day, we must do the work of him who sent me. Night is coming, when no one can work. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world. Having said this, he spit on the ground, made some mud with his saliva, and put it on the man's eyes. Go, he told him, wash in the pool of Siloam. This word means sent. So the man went and washed and came home seeing.
Usually, I don't know if in all the translations it says this means sent. It's the first time I've noticed that in the translation it says the meaning of the word.
What translation is that, Mike?
I think it's NIV.
So this is where he was healed, right here.
Sent is the name of the pool. Siloam means sent.
Because Hezekiah
Not sent, smell of scent, but sending from the pool.
S-E-N-T.
The first tower we were talking about where
The Jebusites.
yeah, where was that located?
That's up there by the spring. We're not at the spring, we're at the pool of scent. Further up there.
Like,
We're sitting on the edge of the pool of Siloam. The original pool of